Hi guys, welcome to DevOps World. This is Harish Kumar Reddy. So we'll try to continue the Adhoc commands. We are working on use case scenarios in this class. Okay. Further, we are trying to go with the next extension. We are trying to go with operations currently in this particular use case scenario in on the basis of Ansible configuration. Okay. So now today I'm trying to discuss about the next module is file module. Okay. So basically what is file module here is file module will try to create a number of files in manually. As you know this in Linux, we already seen that we have a two types of files here, that is touch and cat. Okay. So cat will display the messages, touch cannot display the messages actually. But coming to the process of Ansible configuration, so how we can manage the files and directories. This is very, very important for us. As so far we discussed about Adhoc syntax, so you know right how to work on the syntax. So for this, you need to go with particular syntax. For this, we are trying to go with extension of this particular use cases in Ansible configuration. Okay, so now we'll try to discuss about how we can work on the Adhoc commands and how we can try to go with the process of Adhoc on the basis of Ansible configuration. Okay, so now the next module is file module. So what is my file module? Suppose if I want to insert a file, if I want to insert the file for 10 servers, so every system I don't want to go, I want to insert the same file. So it will take a long time for me. So to reduce the time short efficiency, I want to work on the Ansible configuration. So I want to inject this particular command in controller. It will automatically reflects to SSH agent. So we are trying to go with a private IP address. We'll try to check whether our file has been inserted or not. Okay. So we'll try to discuss all these things in this class. Okay. So now we are trying to go with the file module and as well as directories. And we are trying to go with some more use case scenarios also. Okay. So now let's start the practical session, guys. So for this, I'm trying to go with the AWS mission. So I have already controller mission, server 1 and server 2. Let's connect the server. Let's connect the server. Okay. So now in this case, we are trying to go with the next one is we are trying to create a files and folders on managed nodes. So Ansible all -m stands for module, and we are trying to create a file. -a stands for arguments, and we are trying to go with path of the file. So whenever you're trying to create a state of action, so previously we discussed about the state of action actually. State is nothing but event. We are trying to work on the events. Okay. So events, what kind of events? Whatever you're trying to give any command, that should be event only. Okay. So now I want to go with the file name of file 6. I'm using touch command here. Let's copy this file. Now go to insert mode. So we are trying to go with this and go with enter. Yeah. See here, file is executed. Now we'll try to check whether our file is done or not. For this, I'm trying to go with SSH. I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. I'm trying to go with private IP address. So for this, I'm trying to go with cd/tmp. Okay, if I go with ls, see here, file is created. File 6 is created. See here, file 6 is successfully created. Now, if I go with exit, if I want to check one more server, I can go with SSH. I'm trying to go with what is the next IP address. Previously, we discussed about 179, that is server 1 previously. Okay, now we are trying to go with server 2. This is server 2. Let's copy this file. Okay, now you can try to check here. Okay, now cd/tmp. Now if I go with ls, see here, file 6 is created. So in 2 servers, my file is done successfully. Okay, so this is how we can work on the file. Let's go with exit. I'm back to controller. Now I want the same thing. I want to create a directory. Same thing, I want to create a directory. For this, I'm trying to go with Ansible all. I'm using a directory here. I can go with SSH. 172.31.7.179. Okay, so now cd slash tmp. Now if I go with this, so here directory 1 is created. Directory 1 is created. So previously we seen so far the file. Now we are trying to see the directories. Okay. Now let's go with exit. Now how can you delete the file? Suppose if I want to delete the file, how can I delete the file? So we are working with state of actions. Again, I'm trying to say. So if the state is absent, so the file will be absent. State is absent, the file will be also absent. Okay. Now SSH, I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. 179. If I go with cd slash tmp, now if I go with ls, see here, I don't have any file. I don't have any file. Just I have only directory. I don't have any file. Okay. So this is how we can try to say, try to create a directories for this. Okay. Now let's go with exit. Now let's clear the screen. Now we are trying to go with the next level. Next level, we are trying to go with the so now we are trying to go with, currently I'm working with copy module only. So for this, I'm trying to go with who am I? Who am I? I'm working with who am I? That is, I'm working on Ubuntu file. So now I want to go with file permissions for this. So basically, if you want to go with the file permissions, definitely we need to work on the files only. So as you know this currently, okay, file 3. So the file is executed actually. But see here, if I go with SSH, I'm trying to go with 172.31.13.7. Okay, so now if I go with ls, see I have a file 3. If I go with ls-l, see here, these are file permissions. These are the file permissions. Now, in next coming use case scenarios, I want to change the file permissions, guys. Okay, so we'll try to discuss this one also in this class. No need to worry about this. Okay, right. Now, after that, what we are trying to do here is the next one is we are working on copy module. So what do you mean by copy module? So copy means we are trying to go with original file to duplicate file. Okay. So we are working on copy module. So we need to copy the file. That is, we need to know the file of etc password. This is the password. This is, I want to copy from temporary file. Okay. So let's go with this by using copy module. Let's copy this file. Let's go with exit. Let's paste this file, enter. Okay, so now I can go with SSH 172.31.7.179. Okay, so now I can try to go with copy module, right? So where my file is stored? My file is stored in etc password, right? So cd slash tmp. Okay, now if I go with ls, so see here, my password file is created under the destination path. Under the destination path, because see here, whenever you're working with, so our source file is etc password, but destination file, so I want to see this password file into temporary file. Okay, this is what we are trying to do now. Okay, basically in Ansible configuration, whenever you're working with source file to destination path, it is copying module only. Okay, so right. This is how we can do. Let's go with exit. Okay. Now let's move with the next module is I want to, previously I was installed in last class, I was installed Tomcat 9. Please refer my previous video, how to install Tomcat 9. Actually, we are trying to see that. Okay. So now I want to create a Tomcat users file in a controller and I want to copy the files and all modules. Okay. So for this, I'm trying to go with this file. I'm trying to go with this file. So I have already indirectly I have, so no need to worry about this because we install Tomcat 9. See here. So whenever you install Tomcat 9, you have to go with this because Tomcat is, so you have to copy and paste this one, no problem. Okay, as per your constraint level, you can work on this. Okay, so now go to insert mode, escape, WQ, enter. Okay, so now what we are trying to do here is we are trying to go with copying the model. Ansible all -m, we are trying to go with copy. -a stands for arguments. We are working with Tomcat 9. So -b stands for highly privileged. -b stands for highly privileged. We are working on highly privileged. We are working on highly privileged. So currently it is success, guys. So currently it is success. We are working with Tomcat 9. Okay, so now once it is done, now let's go with private IP address. SSH, I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. Okay, so now I can go with the path. I want to go with the path. So for this, I'm trying to go with CD etc Tomcat 9. CD etc Tomcat 9. Okay, if I go with ls, see here, I have a file server.xml file, and even I have tomcat.xml file. These two are very, very important, guys, because in Tomcat 9 server, whenever you want to run any web application, definitely we can go with the server.xml file, and we are trying to go with the tomcat.xml file. Okay, so this is what we are trying to do now. So here, in this case, what we are trying to go here is we need to install Tomcat 9 server, and we need to see the scripting file because we need to go with the further actions of use case scenarios. Okay, now let's move with if I go with Tomcat, so I can try to go with this. Okay, in Tomcat 9, I'm using this one. Okay, see here in Tomcat use.xml file, whatever you're trying to see, this file having this one. So this is how we can copy the file. This is how we can copy the file. Okay, so let's go with exit. Now, let's move with the next use case scenario. We are trying to work on the, okay, so I want to work on the Tomcat 9 server. We are working on Tomcat 9 server. In all managed nodes, we done already this one. Okay, so now let's move with, so previously I was discussed about touch. Now we are trying to go with cat because I want to change the file permissions. I want to work on the file permissions. Remember this. So for this, I'm trying to go with new file name. Okay, so please try to go with this. So I'm writing some content. Control D to come out. Control D. We are working with Control D. Okay. One minute, guys. Okay, guys. So previously we installed Tomcat 9. So we are trying to work on this and we are trying to go with cat new file 2. I'm trying to work on this file. Okay, so now I'm trying to do new file 2. I'm working with some AAA, some BBB, some CCC, some DBB, some EEE, some FF. Okay, so Control D to come out. Okay, now if I go with cat new file 2. File 2. Okay, so cat will display the messages, guys. Okay, so now once you've done this, now let's go with we are trying to go with the Ansible all. We are trying to go with ls. We are trying to go with copy -a stands for arguments. We are trying to go with new file 2. I am working on home Ubuntu file. So because why we are trying to go with this means we are working on file permissions. If I go with ls-l, see what happens. We are trying to go with so we have these file permissions. Okay, so now you can go with the paste and I'm trying to go with enter. Okay, so this is how we can try to go with this. Now if I want to change the file permission, if I want to change the file permissions, so for this I'm trying to go with ssh 172.31.13.7. Okay, so now once you've done this, now you are trying to go with ls-new file to ls-l new file to. Let's copy this file. Now you can try to go with exit. Okay, so this is our new file permission. Currently, we are working with live date November 8th. Okay, so read write. So I want to change these file permissions now on the base of Ansible control management. Okay, so once you try to do this, now we are trying to go with this command. With this command. So file permissions are generally we are working on owner and group, and we are trying to change the file permissions. I want to get all the permissions in this particular file. So let's go with exit. I'm back to controller. Now I'm trying to go with paste. Enter. Okay, now I can go with SSH. I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. Okay, so now if I go with ls-l, see here, new file 2 has been done. So I got all the permissions here in Ansible controller part. Okay, so we are working with all operations. Okay, so this is how we can try to go with changing the file permissions, guys. Very, very important in your real-time industry also. Okay, so now let's move with one more concept. We are trying to go with I want to replace the file. I want to replace the file. So how can you replace the file? If I want to replace the file, we need to go with copy module only. So we are trying to go with opposite to copy module. So for this, I want to replace the file of soft soul. Soft soul. I just want to create a new file 2 here, new file 3 here. File 2. Okay, you can try to go with file 2 only. Let's copy this file. Let's copy this file. We are trying to change the content. We are trying to change the content. Let's go with exit. I'm back to controller because I'm working with the controller. Now let's go with exit, enter. Okay, so once it is done, I want to go with this file. Okay, so for this, I'm trying to go with SSH. I'm trying to go with 172.31.13.7. Okay, so now here, what we are trying to do here is we are working on sudo cat new file 2. Sudo cat new file 2. So with help of this particular source file, I'm trying to replace so in this file, I'm trying to replace this particular file. Okay, so this is called replace module, guys. This is called replace module. See here, sudo cat new file 2. So previously we have new file 2, right? In this, now it is replaced soft soul. Okay, so this is how we can replace the file. Okay, so now this is all about replace module. Now coming to next one is fetching module. It is opposite to copy module, guys. So currently we are working with this file, right? This is we are working with server 2 currently. So we are working with server 2. This is server 2, guys. Okay, currently we are working with server 2. You can copy this file. Okay, let's go with ls. See, currently I have all these files, right? So I want to search this file, server.xml file. I want to search this file, server.xml file. Okay, so how to search the file? Let's go with this particular command. Now we are trying to go with Ansible all by using fetch. Okay, I'm trying to use the fetch. Let's go with exit. Exit. I'm back to controller. Now you can try to paste this, enter. Okay, so now once it is done, SSH, I'm trying to go with 172.131.7.179. Okay, so now here what I can do, I can try to go with this process. So cd/tmp. cd/tmp. I'm trying to work on cd/tmp. I can go with the paste, enter. Let's go with ls. See, I have these files, right? So now here, what I can try to do here is I'm trying to go with fetching. So what I want to fetch the file, I want to fetch the file. So on server.xml file. Okay. So now here, what I can do, I can go with cd/etc. Okay, if I go with ls, see, I have all these files. See, currently I have all these files, right? So here, we in etc, we need to go with the server.xml file. So currently I got list of packages here. I got list of packages. For this, I can go with exit. Exit, I'm back to controller. So I can go with SSH. I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. Okay. So now here we are trying to go with cd/etc. We are, if I go with ls, so we have all these packages. Okay. What is this package? We are trying to go with this package. Okay. So now once it is done, now we are trying to go with cd tomcat 9. If I go with ls, we got server.xml file. See here, we got server.xml. So basically, etc is the memory. We are trying to store the memory allocations. So we have all the servers here. We are working with all the servers. But here, we need to understand only one thing, guys. Whenever you're trying to work on the progress, we are trying to work on the server.xml file. Okay. So this is how we can try to go with fetching the file. So we are trying to fetch the file. Okay. So right. Now coming to the next concept is we are trying to go with state of action, guys. That is, we are working on Git module. So currently I'm using Git module here. So for this, what I can do, I can go with GitHub repository. I can go with GitHub. Sign in with GitHub repository. So I have already my account, guys. If you have, please try to go with your account also. So in this, I'm trying to go with webintel.tech. So I have these files actually in webintel.tech. Okay. So in this, I have a source file. I have these files, right? So now I want to clone this code. I want to clone this code in this particular file. Okay. I'm trying to clone this code in this particular file. Right. Control V. Now we are trying to go with this also. Control V. Okay. So we are trying to go with webintel.tech. So now we are trying to go with adding these files. Okay. Let's go with exit. I'm back to controller. Let's clear the file. Now we are trying to go with paste here, and I'm trying to enter this file, webintel.tech. So it is executed. Now you are working with SSH. I'm trying to go with 172.31.7.179. Okay. So now here we are trying to go with CD. We are working with CD. So we are working with CD/TMP, CD maven. Okay. CD/TMP. CD. I'm trying to go with what is my source file. So my files, if I go with ls, my files are there. pom.xml file, source file. Okay. pom.xml file, source file will be there. So here also we can try to see in webintel.tech, we have source file and pom.xml. This is how we can try to clone the files by using state of action. Okay. Now let's move with one more file. We are trying to go with service module. Okay. So service modules are completely different, guys. This is completely like web configuration level. We are working on web configuration. Okay. So basically we installed Tomcat 9 previously. Okay. But we need to restart again our Tomcat 9 server. We are trying to go with this. Let's go with exit. Okay. Now I'm trying to paste this, enter. Okay, so now I'm restarting Tomcat 9 server. So once you restart the Tomcat 9 server, then I'm trying to go with you can try to go with the replace module, guys. Replace module is nothing but we are trying to go with 8080 port number to other port number. Basically, Tomcat 9 will work on the 8080 port number. But coming to that, we are trying to go with 1234 also. We are trying to go with 1234. I'm trying to go with 1234. So now here, what I got, I'm back to controller mission. I'm trying to work on Tomcat 9 server. I'm trying to work on the Tomcat 9 server. So you can try to paste this, enter. So currently I'm trying to replace the module here. So once you are trying to go with this, now we are trying to check the public DNS server. So before going with the public DNS server, we are trying to go with, again, we need to restart the server. Again, we need to restart your server. Restart your server, enter. So now you can check public IP address, guys. Now, okay. Before going with this, I'll try to go with one more use case scenario, guys. See, basically, if you go with, I just want to go with one private IP address. I'll try to go with this SSH. SSH. I'm trying to take private IP address, guys. I'm trying to take private IP address, this one. You can copy this file. Now you can paste it here. Enter. Okay, so now once you've done this, now we are trying to go with cd/tomcat9 server. If I go with ls, we got all these files. Now we are trying to go with the sudo vim.xml file. Okay, so in this we have connector port. So we have a connector port here. We are trying to go with the, go to insert mode. We are trying to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, escape, :WQ, enter. Okay. So once you've done this, now we are trying to go with replacing this particular file. So I'm trying to go with exit. I'm trying to go with exit. So currently I'm working with 179 currently. Okay. So I'm trying to go with exit. I'm back to controller. Now you can try to go with paste and we are trying to go with enter. Okay. So then after that, we need to restart the module. We need to restart the module. Okay, so now once you restart this particular server, this is how we can restart the server. Okay, once you restart this particular server, then you can try to go with public IP address. Take public IP address, guys. Take public IP address of server 1. Let's copy this file. You can go with this, you can paste, and you can try to go with 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is success, guys. This is how we can try to see the file. Actually, if you want to see this page via browser, your Tomcat successfully working. Congratulations, guys. Okay. So this is how we can try to configure the managed nodes under the Tomcat server, guys. So basically, Tomcat is very helpful to make a web service very easily. And just I was trying to share the on the base of controller to manage nodes. Okay. So this is how we can try to do this. Right. So this is all about today's class, guys. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask me again. Okay. So in comment sessions, definitely I'll clarify you guys. This is part 2 from the Adhoc commands. Okay. Thank you. We'll try to see the next use case scenarios in next coming classes. Okay. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask me. I can try to clarify you very easily. Okay. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much and have a nice day.